Today in the smuggler's room, we heat things up. What's up, you awesome geeks? I'm Brian and welcome to the Smuggler's Room, the show where each week this chubby geek tries to build something ridiculous, pass on a few tips, and inspire you to build your own wild and crazy projects. If it's your first time here, we hope you'll consider subscribing, and don't forget the bell so you don't miss a single geektastic build. This week, we're building a custom version of R.J. MacReady's Flamethrower from the 1982 John Carpenter's movie, The Thing. My wife wanted to be R.J. MacReady for Halloween, and she wanted a flamethrower because...
maybe we'll just warm things up while I'm around here.
We're going to construct this flamethrower from several random parts. We have 3D printed caps, metal brackets, both large and small diameter PVC parts. I wanted stencils, straps, and as many other things as we could add to make it look authentic. So let's get started. The first part of this build is all about getting the tubes cut to the right length, drilling out the sections where the brackets are going to mount, and getting everything assembled. Alright, there you go. I am going to do some drilling and bolting of some of the critical areas, but overall the frame is ready to go. We need to drill it in several places, and then we'll go ahead and mount it to our canisters, bolted in place. Okay, so the next part of this build that we need to consider is the actual flamethrower handle. Now, I've thought about fabricating it out of PVC and painting it up. I even thought about 3D modeling it and then printing out the components and assembling those. And then I went to clean the yard, and I found this in the shed. It's the handle to my power washer. Now, I'm not going to ruin the power washer, but I can disconnect it here, buy some components at the hardware store, make a custom hose, and then use it with the prop. I'm okay with painting and weathering this handle because it's just gonna make me feel awesome when I'm using the power washer. So that's what we're gonna do. To make the attachment for the power washer, I'm gonna take this flex tube, I'm gonna clamp it together with a pipe clamp over the end of a quick receiver that you use for your air compressor, and then I'll just trim the excess off. Now I can connect and disconnect the power washer from the backpack. I'm laying down some hot glue here, but it's not to hold anything together. When I cut the pipe clamp, the edge of that was really sharp and it was super hard to get a file in there to clean it up. So to avoid anybody getting cut, I'll use the hot glue and lay it in there to make it look like a weld and then add a little weathering to it later. We need to make a connection point at the bottom of the flamethrower for the handle. So we're going to use an electrical conduit box for that. I gotta tell you, if you don't have one of these step bits, you need to get one. They're amazing. One aspect that I knew I was going to have to do was 3D print the caps that go on the top and the bottoms of the main canisters. In reality, I should have done it for the center one as well, but those two larger ones are critical. Working with 3D prints, there's a lot of sanding and a lot of finishing, and I've used this XTC 3D several times. But if you want to watch someone that's really killer with 3D prints, go check out The Broken Nerd. You won't regret it. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. The one aspect that was really driving me crazy was the center tube's cap on the top. It needed to be rounded over, and after I got the other canisters done, it seemed even more important that it be rounded. So I went to Lowe's, I found one that has a rounded top on it, and we're gonna go ahead and just replace it. So, a little bit of airbrushing with just some black to help give some contrast and separation on the canisters and the piping and all that kind of stuff. Also adds a little weather look to it as well. I'm going to now switch and put a little rub and buff in some strategic areas to kind of give a little bit of a metal reveal look to it. I typically like to use the latex or mustard or any of those other kind of applications and then kind of have a base silver underneath and peel them away. I didn't this time. I'm kind of running tight on time to get this done for a Halloween party. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the rub and buff, hopefully not push it too far. Let's see what happens. Okay gang, so we got the stencils put on and I was purposely really rough with it. I wanted it to have kind of that quickly stenciled, sprayed and moved on look to it. Ideally I would have rather had airbrushed, but I didn't have any yellow paint, and the best I could do was with the paint I had. I took the steel wool, kind of brushed over the top of it, weathered it up a little bit, call it a day. As far as the J&B and the 82, obviously that's not even close to screen accurate. We're going for entertainment value and not necessarily a replica. So J&B, that's reference to MacReady and what he drinks, and then 82, obviously the year of the thing and when it was released. So we're gonna go with that. Okay. The next step I have to take, I'm super nervous about it. Obviously in the thing in Antarctica and when he's using it at the end of the film, it's covered in frost from top to bottom. And the costume that my wife's gonna be putting together is also gonna have a fair amount of snow and whatnot on it. So I'm going to frost this. I'm nervous about it because I'm going to use just some white spray paint, and I've done a little test on another piece of PVC, and we're going to give it a shot. And if it sucks, then we're gonna have to kind of sand it down and start over. So wish me luck. Let's go. And that, my friends, is how we geekify a flamethrower. Now, if you have any questions about this build, or you have suggestions for a build you'd like to see us try, drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit that bell. And until next time, keep building something out of nothing. Okay, don't move. Okay. Now shake your moneymaker. Now jump up and down.